I would wish every other candidate, if they are looking for a career in Germany, they should go with find a job in Germany.
Welcome, everyone. I have the honor today to be speaking with Ashish from Bangalore, who has been one of our clients and who successfully managed to get a job in Germany. Ashish, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing today, George?
Also very great. Thank you very much, Ashish. Ashish, honestly, it's really good to see you. And thank you for making time. I just wanted to ask, what did you do this week? You ended up going to the embassy. Is that correct?
Yes, I've been to the embassy. I've visited New Delhi Embassy, VFS Center, and I've successfully submitted my and my wife's application over there.
Okay, cool. How did that go?
So it went well. We had all the documents pre-prepared, and so it was successful. Quite.
Okay. And so far, your company has been supporting you in most of the process, or did you also have to deal with some of the paperwork by yourself?
So company supporting me in the monetary benefits for the relocation purposes. Apart from that, any documents from the Germany or from the company, they are providing me. There are some documents which are required for the visa process from the company side. So I have got all those documents from the company side.
Okay, perfect. So they were really helpful in the whole process.
Yes.
Because every now and then we get this set of questions from people who are wondering, oh, is it complicated? Is it really hard to get your visa? What was your take on it? I mean, you got some kind of sponsorship now, but how did you experience it in general?
So it can be messy if you are not prepared, but if you have a list of documents, if you are pre-prepared with all the things required at the VFS or embassy, then it's like a piece of cake, and you just prepare your file, you submit it over there, you do your biometric, and it's done. That's it.
Great piece of cake. I love that. But also you saying explicitly, you have to be on top of this. You have to know what you have to get in terms of paper, etc. Now,
Right.
you did that together with your wife. You're coming together with your wife. Is that correct?
Yes, we both are coming together.
Awesome. And have you already booked your flights, if I may ask?
No, I'm like waiting for the confirmation of the visa. Once we get the visa confirmation, that is we'll get in around 4 weeks, and then we'll book our flight.
Okay, perfect. May I ask you one more administrative question? Sometimes we get the question as to whether you have to show proof of a certain amount of money in your bank account, like a security deposit. Is that also the case, or is that not the case?
So definitely it is not the case when you are going for an employment purpose. When you are going for a student visa, then you need to show a block account, and there's some stamp papers required to be submitted at the VFS. Apart from that, for the employment and its dependent, you don't need to show anything regarding the bank accounts.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. I know that everybody's really eager also to know a little more about how it went at the embassy. I know you're from Bangalore, and there is a German consulate general in Bangalore, but you still had to go to the embassy, which is based in?
Um, so my hometown is in Rajasthan, so that is the reason I have visited New Delhi VFS Center.
Mhm.
So they have collected all the documents and files for me, and now they will transfer these files to the embassy. Now the embassy is responsible for taking the decision for accepting or refusing the visa. So VFS is a outsourcing agency which is responsible for collecting all the things.
Okay, now that makes it quite clear. Thank you very much, Ashish, for sharing a couple of those insights, because reading about it on the internet is one thing, but hearing it from somebody is a different thing. Second, let me rewind a couple of months. You signed up with us, and if I may honestly say, you had a application call with Tamo. Is that right?
Right, right.
And I remember Tamo telling me, I have this guy here, and he claims he tried over like 1,000 times to get a job in Germany. Is that also right?
100% true. Yes.
And I was looking at Tomo and I was thinking like, "Oh, that can't be true. I think he's exaggerating a little." But you have really tried, and you also emphasized that during the work that we had been spending on you finding a job in Germany. You have been emphasizing that a little bit. And I wanted to talk to you also about how that made you feel after some time, whether you were feeling, I don't know, not just disappointed, but maybe wondering, what am I doing wrong? Can you maybe specify a little?
It's been 2 years when I was applying for a job for different countries. I applied for Australia, then Singapore, then Germany. But I was not getting a quite good responses from the employers. So I was wondering that if I'm missing something, what is that point? Then, like, I was applying around 100 jobs a day or in 2 days. So that comprises of 1,000 of jobs in 2 years. But I haven't got much responses. And then I met Tamo on the LinkedIn, and I found out that how you like do and help the people for finding the job in Germany. Then it was like a doubtful in the beginning, like whether it is like uh, a good agency or just a scam. Or but later I read some testimonials, and you also personally got connected me with some other guy who cracked the job. So I was quite sure about the this agency, and later is a history. I got a very good response and a very refined process from the find a job in Germany.
What made you decide to eventually start working with us? Was it more of a point of, let's try this out because I feel like I have already tried so many other things? Or was it maybe it's also a way of approaching this differently through professional assistance?
Mhm. Before taking this decision, I had a call with Temu. And after taking that call, I was quite sure about certain things which he cleared. And he cleared almost every doubt which I had in my mind at that point of time. And after that I was like, yes, I want to proceed with this agency. And he said that within few weeks I'll started getting the interviews. And that's what happened to me. So I was sure that I can crack the interview, and but I was not getting the interviews. So you helped me in getting those interviews, and within some months I cracked the job. I started all this visa process, and now I'm expecting to move to Germany within few weeks.
And you're smiling, and I love that very much. Ashish, I know that Tamo can be quite persuasive, so I like the fact that you trusted him in this regard. I have a question about your interview stage. We managed to get you interview invitations, and for the beginning, you were taking this seriously, of course, but then you were thinking, oh, maybe I also need a little more than maybe 5 interviews or 6 companies or 7. It took a little longer with you as well, but then I have to say your learning curve really went up. And eventually you got your foot in the door and you pushed that door open and you got your contract. So can you tell me a little about your learning curve? Because of course, developers want to learn more about how to then make the interview process.
Okay, let me tell you more about the process. Uh, Demo started with the first wave of applications. So I was started getting interviews just after 2 weeks only, and around 10 interviews I got in the first month, and started taking the interviews. So when you are preparing for some different country, you started gradually knowing the interview process and the people, how they communicate and what they are actually looking for. So in India, generally, people are looking for a tech, but in Germany, this is not the case. They are looking for an overall personality, and you should be good at the communication. You should be social. You should be interacting with different people. So it means to be a package, and that's what I learned after some interviews. And So I prepared for that. So interview is a process. You take the interviews and you learn and you do well in the other interviews. So after 1 month, I started getting a confidence that I can crack the next interview. And after around 45 days, I've finished the first wave of applications and took all the interviews. And by the end, Tamo was like, let's begin the second wave of application. But I was expecting some good news from one or two employers. And it happened on the Friday. On Monday, we were about to start the next wave of application. But on Friday, I got the good news. And even George only told me that check your mail. And it was like, yes, from one of the employer. And it was a very I cannot say those things in words. What was the happiness in my mind at that point of time?
Okay,
So it
great.
happened.
Awesome. Well, and you are perfectly fit for this role, and I really enjoy having worked with you. Now, can you maybe shed a little more light on the tech rounds that you did, about the coding challenges? Because every now and then we do have, of course, people also wondering and sometimes struggling with that.
Mhm. So in 90% cases, you are expected to solve a coding take-home task, and after that, you can expect questions around those tasks only. And sometimes you also have a pair coding kind of a session where other developers are sitting with you, they are interacting with you, and you are like a driver. You are solving the questions with them, so it's like a interaction between some developers. In my case, I had around 3.5 hours of interview in the last round, where I was interacting with different people from different teams. Like a scrum master was there, product owner is there, then CTO was there, and especially in my front end developer is also there. So it was different from different companies, but you can expect a take home task in 90% cases, and after that some questions from them. So take those tasks very seriously. In my case also, I started with a take home task, then one interview, and after that this 3.5 hours discussion round.
And then, of course, you started learning from one tech round to the other to see, oh, I really begin to understand now what they are looking for. I'm starting to understand what they want me to do and how they want me to deliver it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Ashish, now, next steps. When are you going to be here?
So I'm expecting my visas. I have joined some Facebook groups, and people are getting the visas in 2 weeks also. But the usual waiting time is 4 weeks. So I'm expecting to arrive in Germany as soon as possible, and looking forward to join my company. And though the date of joining is 1st October, but they are flexible. They know that it takes some time for the visas to get approved, and so um, in October maybe I would be joining the company.
Perfect. That's also great to know, because sometimes we have questions like, what's going to happen if my contract actually starts on date XYZ, but then I won't be able to physically join? That's really a matter of communicating it with the company, isn't it? And usually they're flexible with regard to the onboarding / relocating process, correct?
Yeah, I want to mention one point over here is like, when you have a job and you started the visa process, try to communicate at every stage with your HR, because you are here in India and HR is in the Germany. So he or she must know that at what stage you are right now, and you have applied for a visa, you got any pre-confirmation. So whatever is going on in India here, just try to communicate so that they will have a better picture according to you.
Awesome. That's also a very helpful piece of advice. Ashish, I'm so glad we got you, your job, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And we'll be in touch, as we have always been on WhatsApp, and seeing your progress. Let us know how the last miles are, and I will look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I would wish every other candidate, if they are looking for a career in Germany, they should go with find a job in Germany, and within few months, if you have a potential, you will get your job in Germany. You should go with them.
Awesome. Thanks for that testimony at the very end. Ashish, take care. And yes, I'll definitely see you soon. All the best.
Thank you. You too. Have a good day. Sure.